Hello, are you ready to learn for today?
Balikan muna natin yung salitang ratio kasi diyan natin maiintindihan yung salitang proportion. Now, when it comes to a ratio, it is actually the comparison of two quantities. Ayan, so usually I think familiar kayo kapag ka ang ratio ang ganito itsura. Ayan, 3:5. Diyan yung makikita yung symbol na colon. 'Di ba? And it is read as is 2 or 3 out of 2 or 3 2, 5. Yan, mga ganyang, ayan. Yan yung mga terms na ginagamit kapag nakikita kayo ng colon. And yan, ang tinutukoy natin dyan ay ratio. Aside from ratio being defined as comparison of two quantities, you will notice that a ratio, for example, 2 is to 3 can be equal to 4 over 6, 6 over 9, and 8 over 12. At the same time, it can also be written, aside from this form, 2 is to 3, into a fractional form, like this one, 2 over 3. Yan, and then equal din siya. Yan, so another form of ratio is a fraction. Ito nga katulad nito sa example natin, 3, 3 to 5 or 3 is to 5 can be written as a fraction 3 over 5. That's one way for us to represent a given ratio. At dahil nga ang fraction ay pwedeng convert ng percent, so ibig sabihin yung ratio pwede rin natin yan i-represent as uh, in a percent form. Yan, isang magandang example dito is kapag ka magde-deposit kayo sa bangko, 'di ba? Ang tinatawag doon is rate of interest, yung kinikita nyo annually or every year doon sa dineposit nyo na pera. 'Di ba percent 'yon? Isang example 'yon ng ratio. Pero mas kilala natin sa salitang rate. O, dun yung galing sa salitang ratio, 'di ba? Next, decimal can also be a form of a given ratio. But for today, we'll be focusing more on its fractional or rational form. Ayan. But what do we mean by the word proportion? So, pag sinabi nating proportion, ito lang, ang ibig sabihin lang naman nito ay equal ratio or equivalent ratio. Ito kasi parang ang kwento, meron daw someone na nagbibigay dito sa dalawa, nakalimutan ko yung pangalan ng dalawang bata. Tapos, una daw, ang binibigay lang is dalawa dito sa batang naka-color blue and then tatlo dito sa batang naka-color yellow. Tapos, from time to time, dinadagdagan nito. So, yung una, 2 is to 3 yung ratio nila. Dalawa dun sa unang bata, tatlo dun sa pangalawa. Tapos, binibigay lang din yung same number of candies for both of them. So, sa pangalawang bigay, nagbigay ulit ng dalawa. Tapos, nagbigay naman ng tatlo dun sa pangalawang bata. So, ilan na? Naging apat dun sa unang bata and then anim dun sa pangalawa. So, ano na yung ratio niya? 4 is to 6. But since parehas pa rin yung ratio na sinusunod, dalawa pa rin yung binigay sa una at tatlo pa rin dun sa pangalawang bata, yung 4 is to 6 na yan or 4 over 6 na yan can be converted in its simplest form, which is equal to 2 over 3. Yan. Ito nga ang binigay na tatlong ratio na to, si 4 over 6, 6 over 9, at 8 over 12 are all equal to 2 over 3. And an example of proportion. Yan. Pag kinuha mo yung ratio ng dalawang quantities at naging equal sila to its simplest form, that means they are proportion. They have the same or equal ratio. Ito rin yung magandang example kapag ka daw idodrawing mo yung isang monitor sa iyong notebook at ang sukat nito ay 40 centimeters by 30 centimeters. Siyempre, hindi ka naman magdodrawing ng monitor sa notebook mo na ganun kalaki. So, i-scale down mo siya. So, pwede mo siyang i-scale down as 40 by 3, ay 4 by 3 centimeters para kasya sa notebook mo. Or pwede mo siyang lakihan by 8 centimeters by 6 centimeters. Yan. So, if you get the lowest term of 8 over 6, that's gonna be equal to 4 over 3. They are proportion. At para mas maintindihan pa natin yung idea ng ratio and proportion, let's have this given activity. So, let's answer this following as stated. Now, so, for example, we have 6 over 18. Ay, sorry, 6 is to 18. Yan, we can write this ratio into a fraction form which is equivalent to 6 over 18. Now, kailangan lang natin kuhain yung lowest term ng 6 over 18. Pag hinahanap mo yung simplest form ng isang fraction, you'll think of the greatest common factor. Ano ba yung pinakamataas na number na pwede nating i-divide parehas kay 6 at a 18? Yan. So, ang pwede nating i-divide parehas sa kanila is si 6. That's gonna be their greatest common factor. If we divide both of them by 6, we'll get the lowest term or the simplest form of 6 over 18, which is equal to 1/3. You can also write it as 1:3. Yan, parehas lang yan. Okay, let's proceed to the second one. We have 21:15. Yan, para mas madali natin makuha yung simplest form nito, let's convert this one into a rational form. Yan, 21/15. Saan natin sila pwedeng i-divide parehas? Ano ang kanilang greatest common factor? Pwede natin i-divide parehas yung numerator natin na si 21 at yung denominator natin na si 15 kay 3. And that means your 21 divided by 3 will be 7, and then 15 divided by 3 is 5. Therefore, it's gonna be 7:5. 7/5, it can also be written as 7:5. Yan, pares naman yung ratio. Iba lang yung form. Yung isa, yung naka-colon form, yung isa is yung naka-fraction form. Ayan. So another application that we'll be studying for today is the idea of having proportion or proportional ratios. Wherein one of the uh, quantities inside this given ratio is missing. Yan, naka-denote nga siya as x. So in this given, find the value of x on the following proportion. So for number 3, we have the given x is to 4 is equal to 5 is to 10. So mas madali kasi itong isolve kapag ang itsura nito ay fraction. So we can write this x is to 4 is equal to 5 is to 10 as x over 4 is equal to 5 over 10. Pares lang nung ginawa natin nung nasa taas. Ginawa lang natin fraction, parehas ng ratio. Now, since these two ratios are proportional, yung cross product nila. So, ang gagawin mo lang dyan is i-multiply mo. Ayan, x times 10. Then, dito naman sa kabila, 5 times 4. And then yun, simplify mo lang. So, x times 10 is equal to 5 times 4. Anyway, so x times 10 is gonna be 10x, and then 5 times 4 is gonna be equal to 20. So, meron tayong 10x is equal to 20. Anong gagawin natin para matanggal natin yung x sa tabi ng variable? Ayun, tanggalin natin yung 10 sa tabi ng variable x, di ba? We can divide both of them. Kanino? I-divide natin sila parehas kay 10. It's gonna be 10x over 10 and 20 over 10. Therefore, ano makukuha nating sagot? Or what is gonna be the value of x? Yan, so this 10 over 10 will just be simplified into 1 because 10 over 10 is equal to 1. Ang matitira na lang dyan ay si x. And then 20 over 10 will just be equal to 2. Therefore, x is equal to 2. Yan, ganyan lang yung strategy. Paulit-ulit lang yan. So, practicein natin ulit. Let's have this, number 4. 9 over 11 is equal to 45 over x. So, what do you think is the value of x for it or for these two given ratios to be equal or to be proportional? Ayan. So, gawin lang ulit natin yung ginawa dito sa kabila. Cross product nila. So, pag minultiply mo yan, di ba? 9 tsaka x, 9 times x. Dito naman, 45 tsaka 11. So, 45 times 11. So, 9 times x is 9x. Yeah, 45 plus times 11, not plus. Times 11 is going to be 495. We can divide both sides by 9 to get the value of x. Therefore, the value of x will be 495 divided by 9. Kasi 'di ba, ito masisimplify na to into 1, matitira sa x. At 495 divided by 9 is gonna be x will be equal to 55. And let's have this last example for this given part. So we have here 4 over x minus 8 is equal to 8 over 2. Yan. In this case, wala namang bago sa gagawin mo. Yes, you will still follow the pattern that we are uh, using a while ago. Ito, or dito sa dalawang numbers natin, kay 3 at saka kay 4, multiply mo, cross multiply, 4 times 2. Then dito naman sa kabila, 8 times quantity x minus 8. So in this case, mapapansin ninyo na nasa loob siya ng parenthesis. Kasi yes, dito, pag minultiply mo yan, it's gonna be 16. 4 times 2. Ay, sorry. 4 times 2 is 8, not 16. And then, on this case, dito naman, i-distribute mo sa 8. So, 8 times x is 8x. And then, dito naman sa kabila, 8 times negative 8 is gonna be negative 64. So, it will now become 8 is equal to 8x minus 64. Kapag kaganyan, i-distribute mo lang. Huwag kang matakot doon sa binomial sa loob ng parenthesis. And then dito, ayusin na lang natin. Hindi tayo pwede mag-divide agad-agad kasi may kasamang minus 64 dito sa 8x. So, pwede natin gawin, itira na natin dyan si 8x, pero ilipat na lang natin to sa 64 dito. So, negative 64 siya, magiging plus or magiging positive siya. So, it will now become 64 plus 8 is equal to 8x. And then add lang natin, 64 plus 8 is 72. Then, dito na tayo magdi-divide both sides by 8. Therefore, we'll get 72 divided by 8. That's gonna be the value of x, and we'll get x is equal to 9, or 9 is equal to x. Aside from that, we can also apply the idea of proportion when it comes to this given problem. And actually, ito malamang sa malamang, yung mga ganitong klase ng problem na encounter na natin to nung tayo ay elementary. Kasi meron na tayong ratio and proportion nung elementary pa lang eh. Siguro nakalimutan nyo na kung di nyo maalala. Anyway, mix 3 liters of water with 4 lemons to make a lemonade. Ayan. Now, how many liters of water should be mixed with 8 lemons? Ito nga, pwede nyo nang sagutan eh. O, kung 3 litro ng tubig at 4 na lemons ang kailangan para sa isang lemonade. O, parang isang serving siguro ng lemonade. O, hindi siguro isang serving. Isang timplahan siguro. O, ang tanong, ilang litro ng tubig kapag 8 lemon? O, pwede nyo na sagutin, di ba? Kayang-kaya nyo na. But we can also apply the idea of proportion. But dito, pwede mong gamitin yung idea ng ratio and proportion. So, pwede mong kuhain yung ratio ng liters of water over the number of lemons. Ayan. So, for your solution, consider natin yung ratio na yan. So, for every 3 liters of water and 4 lemons, you can create uh, siguro a lemonade, or you can make a lemonade. And then, the question is, how many liters of water? For example, you want to add 4 more. So, magiging 8 lemons, di ba? Yan. So, we can cross multiply 8 and 3. We have 3 times 8 and then 4 times x, or x times 4. So, that's going to be 24 is equal to 4x. If you divide both sides by 4, you'll get x is equal to 6. Yan. So, pares lang din naman ng sagot ninyo. The answer will be 6 liters. Let's have this following examples. Yan. Choose true if the statement is true, otherwise false. Let's start with number 1. 4 over 5 is equal to 16 over 18. Is it true or false? Correct answer is it's gonna be false. Why? Yan, kapag kinuha mo yung lowest term na itong 16 over 18, you can divide both of them by, I think by 2. And this is gonna be equal to 8 over 9. And 8 over 9 is technically not equal to 4 over 5. Obvious naman, di ba? So that's one way for you to check if they are really equal. Aside from that, you can do the cross product. So pwede mo nga pang check yun yung cross product kung equal talaga sila yung dalawang ratio. Pwede mo i-multiply yan. 18 times 4 equal niyan 72. Then 5 times 16, ang product niyan is 80. O, hindi sila equal. Pag hindi sila nag-equal dun sa cross product, hindi sila proportional. And so let's proceed with number 2. 3 is to 5 and 12 is to 20 are equal ratios. 3 is to 5 and 12 is to 20 are equal ratios. So is it true or false? Is it true or false? So the correct answer is true. Yan. So, you can write 3 is to 5 as 3 over 5. Pwede mo niya isulat as 3 over 5. And then, yung 12 is to 20, you can write it as 12 over 20. At pag kinuha mo yung lowest term ng 12 over 20, ayan, you can divide both of them by, I think you can divide both of them by 4. You'll get an answer that is also 3 over 5. Because 12 divided by 4 is 3, 20 divided by 4 is 5. So, equal sila. Yan. Pwede mo rin kuhain yung cross product kung gusto mo. Get 20 times 3, that's gonna be 60. 5 times 12, that's also gonna be 60. So they are equal. Therefore, they are proportional or equal ratios. Ayan. So let's proceed with number 3. If x over 15 is equal to 15 over 60, then do you think x is equal to 3? Is it true or false? True ba yan o false? So if you cross multiply 60 and x, this is going to be 60x. And then 15 times 15, this is going to be 225. Now, if you solve for the value of x, is it going to be equal to 3? Yan. Kasi magiging 60x is equal to 225 yan eh. Pagka ginawa natin yung technique kanina. But, is it equal to 225 if x is equal to 3? Ang sagot dito ay? So the correct answer here is false. Yan. If you solve for this one, we can have 60x. Ayan na nga, pinakita ko yung cross product nila is 60x is equal to 225. If you divide both sides by 60, you'll get x is equal to 3.75, which is a decimal value. This is equivalent to 15 over 4. Hindi siya equal kay 3.75 nga siya, eh. So, false yung sagot natin. Okay, next, number 4. If 3 over 5 is equal to 6 over 10, so 3 times 6 is equal to 5 times 10. Oh. Okay, so the correct answer here is false. 3 times 6, 18. 5 times 10, 50. Hindi talaga sila equal, kaya false yan. Aside from that, di ba ang ginagawa natin, just to check if the given ratios are equal, we cross-multiply. So, 3 times 10, ito naman, 6 times 5. Hindi tayo nagmumultiply ng taas sa taas, baba sa baba. Mali yan. Wala tayong ganun. Wala akong pinakitang ganun na example kanina, di ba? So, this is gonna be false. Okay, last. Class. 7 miles in 10 minutes is equal to 3.5 miles in 5 minutes. Tingin nyo, parehas lang ba yan? Kapag ba sinabi ko na, yung 7 miles na yan, kaya kong tapusin in 10 minutes? Yan. Kasing bilis niya lang ba pag sinabi ng isang kasama ko na, yung 3.5 miles nga, kaya kong tapusin ng 5 minutes? Are they equal or are they having the same idea when it comes to these two given quantities or ratios? Is it true or false? Ayan. So the correct answer here is true. Yan. So if you write it into a fraction, so this is going to be 7 over 10, and this is going to be 3.5 over 5. So if you multiply 3.5 over 5 both by 2, yan, pwede kasi yan eh. So pag minultiply mo sila parehas kay 2, magiging 7 over 10 din to, which is also equal. 7 is to 10. Ayan. So for this second set of examples, ayan, let's have this given. So answer this four different items, including the problem. For the first one, you have to identify the value of x, and for the second, or for the problem, you have to answer the given problem. So take your time. Ayan, so let's identify or answer the following. Ayan, so for number one, the correct answer is x is equal to 14. Ayan, for number two, ayan, dito kapag ka nag-cross multiply tayo, magkakaroon tayo dito ng quadratic equation eh. Kasi 'di ba x times x will be x squared, and then 6 times 24 or 24 times 6 will be equal to 144. So we are to get the square root of both sides, and we're gonna have x is equal to positive and negative 12. But since sa mga susunod na example natin, we'll be dealing more on the positive values. So dito, okay na tayo with x is equal to 12. Pero supposedly, positive and negative 12 yung sagot natin dyan. Ayan. So, kasi gagawin natin mas realistic yung mga examples natin. Kaya, for the sake of our lesson, we'll be deal more on the positive values. Anyway, as we may continue. So, for number 3, yan, if we cross multiply this one, this is 5 times the quantity 4x minus 1 and equal to 3 times the quantity 6x plus 1. So in this case, kailangan mo i-distribute yan. So we'll be having 20x minus 5 is equal to 18x plus 3. Yan, din-distribute si 5 at saka si 3 on both of the given factors. Now, if we rearrange this one, it will be 20x minus 18 is equal to 3x plus 5. So that's going to be 2x is equal to 8. If we divide both sides by 2, you will get x is equal to Ayan, ayan. So, x is equal to 4. Ayan. So, for the problem naman, the correct answer for this one, so pwede mong gawing ratio dyan. Pwede magkabaligtad to So, map measurement over the actual measurement. So, that's gonna be 2 cm over 100 meters. Yan is equal to x centimeters over 250 meters. So, we can cross multiply once again, and you'll have an answer supposedly that is equal to 5. Therefore, the final answer here is 5 centimeters. Okay, so among these four different examples, ilan ang nakuha mo?
I hope you understand the lesson for today. Until next time, bye!